it comes to learning a new language, especially English. If English is not your native language, you often find yourself on the struggling end when it comes to writing. What might appear to be a good essay to you might be just a piece of rambling to someone else. Hi, if this is your first time looking at this beautiful face, I'm Rifa, an educator, content writer, and now a YouTuber. And if this is not your first time, hi there homies, welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing? And in this video, we're going to take a look at the 5 important steps that you need to keep in your mind when it comes to writing.
Step 1. Plan your writing.
Alright, before you even start to draft your writing, you need to know what you're going to write about in each paragraph. You can use tons of tools and techniques to make a writing plan. Say for example, you can make use of concept maps, flow charts, or even storyboards if you're good at illustrations. After making your working writing plan, do not deviate from it. Do not add any more or any less, as it might sabotage your entire writing.
Say for example, I want to write a story of 2 kids who saw a monster during a trip. For this, my writing plan is going to be flowchart, where I'm going to focus on introducing my characters in the first passage, their location and interaction in the second passage, their encounter with the monster on the third, and in the final passage I'm going to conclude the whole story. Step 2. Understand your readers.
Remember a popular saying by Albert Einstein? If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, then that means you don't understand it yourself. When you are going to write a content, start with a simple and easily understandable narrative for your reader's comfort. If you jot down so many unnecessary words and complicated terms, then overdo with your explanation of the content, your readers will find it difficult to comprehend. But wherein if you underdo your explanation, then your readers will just feel that it's quite boring. So you need to find the middle line between overdoing the explanation and underdoing your explanation and make it reader friendly. And for that, you need to understand and know whom you're writing this for, who's going to be your readers, who's going to read this writing. And based on their comprehending ability, you need to change your writing style.
Step 3. The 3 vocabulary rule.
After making a rough draft of your content, it's time for you to focus on the 3 essential and a crucial element when it comes to writing, and that's grammar, vocabulary, and obviously your spellings. For grammar and spellings, you can use tons of apps and websites out there. For example, you can use Grammarly, Thesaurus, Pro Writing Aids, and also you might use Readability. But if you're someone who's into reading and podcasts like me, check out this new book called Grammar Girl. It's quite helpful. When it comes to vocabulary, I tend to follow a rule called 3 vocabulary rule, which I made it myself. So what I usually do is, depending on who I'm writing my content for, I'll change the kind of words that I use in that particular passage. Say for example, if I'm going to write a paragraph or an essay for my college, then I tend to use around like 5 complicated words for each passage. But if I'm going to write an ebook for a 5-year-old, I'll use just 1 complicated word for each passage. So depending on my writers, I tend to use very less or more complicated words.
Step 4. The more you describe, the better your writing.
Take a look at this sentence.
Rachel and Joey saw a monster.
From this sentence, what can you understand as a reader? Does it not arise so many questions in your head? For example, who's Joey? Who's Rachel? How are they related? How did they see a monster? And what did they do after that? And how old are they? Now, take a look at this particular passage.
Joey, who used to be boisterous, was too stunned to speak that day. The only thought that was running through his mind was to protect his sister Rachel, who was standing a little behind him, clinging to his shirt. Never in his 8 years of life did he think that he'd face a hideous monster as this one.
What do you think is the difference between the first sentence and the second passage? Well, for beginners, it's a sentence and the passage. Obviously, it has more explanation. But other than that, the first sentence, it's just talking about two characters meeting a monster. And the second paragraph, yes, it's also about two characters meeting a monster. But in the second paragraph, we tend to connect more with Joey and Rachel because we are able to know more about these characters and we are able to connect to it. So just like that, when you are writing, you need your readers to connect themselves to your writing, to your characters. So for that, description is the key. So the more you describe, the more the readers will be able to connect with your writing.
Step 5. The more you practice, the better you will get.
Let's face it, you guys, no matter how many videos that you watch on the internet or the number of classes that you attend, nobody is going to make a change in your writing unless you're willing to help yourself. So the more that you practice your writing style and experiment with it, the better you will become in it. So take it up as a challenge and try to challenge yourself by writing based on prompts or some titles, and ask your friends to review your writing. Alright everyone, we have reached the end of this video. I hope you would have loved it, and if you did, give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Comment down your valuable thoughts and I'll take it as a constructive feedback. Until next time, it's Tata Bye Bye, see you from Rifa's vlog.